What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Wrestling Chop Shop. Here today with you guys for an interview. Have Heel.Liz with us today. I'll let her introduce herself, and then if you guys have any questions, you can start dropping them now. Go ahead.
Awesome. Hey guys. So, like you mentioned, I'm Heel.Liz. You guys can find me on all social platforms as Heel.Liz. I am one half co host of ATW, All Things Wrestling podcast, every Sunday. And I'm also part of the Lucha Libre Online team. So, you guys can find me doing interviews for Lucha Libre Online. But I think that's pretty much it. I do cosplays, I do TikToks, I do a little bit of everything. So, but thank you for having me.
Of course. So I'll just start it off with saying I found you by your Billy Kay video. It was on TikTok, of course. I thought it was Billy Kay first off, but after that, followed you. I saw that you followed me, followed you back. We talked a little bit. Wanted to have you on the podcast. You agreed, so that's how we got here, guys. So first question I always ask: how did you get into wrestling?
Well, wrestling, I think we all kind of got into wrestling around the same time. I got into it as a kid. I didn't have family that really was into it. It was just something I kind of got attached to. I got into it because my dad and my brother were into it.
Okay.
They didn't expect me, I guess. I was just really young, but they didn't expect me to kind of get into it. And they're just me watching them and enjoying it. And I just liked it. And I was a tomboy growing up. So I think like for me, like I was just like, this is so badass. This is so cool. And then John Cena came around. And it's the reason why I stuck around. So John Cena was like the main reason of why I started. And I still watch wrestling. I learned to just love it all through the years. I did have a couple years that I kind of did take a break for personal reasons, but I've been watching for like the last 20 years. So it's been a great journey. It's been crazy to see like, how it's all been changing and how it's developed and everything. So, I mean, wrestling is amazing. It's a beautiful art and I love it. Like I said, I was a tomboy, so I wanted to be badass, like everybody there. And I don't know if you probably saw my post. I was like, Lita was like, the
I was
it
just gonna
girl.
ask you that. Yeah.
So I was like, I was trying to be like her, but at the same time, I was like, I'm not trying to break a bone because they say, don't try this at home. And I was one of those, good kids. So I was like, okay, I'm not gonna try it at home. But I
I
was
tried it at home.
I think a lot of people did. I think like the most that I did was like an elbow drop from like my bunk bed to like the floor to my brother,
Shit.
but that was pretty much it. That was as far as I went, and I got in
Damn.
trouble. So my mom like blew up on us. I was like, okay, never again.
So you say John Cena. I know some people who don't like him. What was it about John Cena that made you like him?
Honestly, I think it was just the way he started presenting himself. I started getting into him when he did the whole word life gimmick. That
Okay.
whole all of that. And at that time, like of course, we were all into Eminem and everything. So I was like, okay, like, it's a little bit of everything, like, it was a little bit of his little like, rap and all of that stuff, but him just being there. And I think it was just more of everybody trying to say that he can't do it and proving him
Yeah.
wrong that I really liked. And I just liked that he was a bad guy. I love that he used to come out to like a city and wear like the rivals the
The
rivals
jersey.
jersey. So I'm just like, hell yeah. Like he showed up to LA and he would show up with a Boston jersey, show up to Boston,
Nice
and
jersey.
he, well, except for Boston, that was like the only place that he show up and show love to his city. But yes, I think it was, for me, it was just more of like his character that kind of got me into it. I was just like, oh, I like how he, he's just bad. Like he doesn't care what anybody's saying. And I was still new to wrestling, so I didn't know the Attitude Era.
Okay.
I went into the ruthless aggression era, so I didn't know the Attitude Era at that time. So for me, I was just like, damn, this dude's freaking cool. Just like he doesn't care. And then eventually he started transitioning to the PG era, and then for me it just resonated a lot because of my personal life. Everything that he kind of did outside of the ring was kind of something that I'm just like, damn, like this guy is like, a true role model. Like he's trying to
Yeah.
live by the words that, he's saying, the, hustle, loyalty, and respect. So for me, I think it just came a lot through that. But I became just a huge fan. And then of course, like, I had a fangirl. I thought like, he was the love of my life. And I was like, he was the most handsomest man ever. And yes,
Oh my goodness. There
I
was
had
this
like
one
the
girl at my
biggest
school
crush.
that was the same way.
Yes, I was a Cena girl. I was that Cena girl.
Yeah.
I think I was like the only girl in my school that like probably watched wrestling. I used to get
Now,
made fun of, so I
I
would
mean, I
say I
did
was a.
too. It was so bad. Like the group chat of my brothers that I'm with now. That's like the first time that I've ever had a group of friends that I can talk to about wrestling. Other than that, it was bad.
Oh, see, I didn't even have friends. I think well that this is how like my whole page got about
Yeah,
because I started getting back into like really getting back into wrestling because I didn't start attending live shows till like 2016, and then from there I was just like, oh my god, this is so cool. I really want to do this and do it more often. And then eventually I was posting because I used to have like a main page where I used to
yeah,
post everything, but everybody there was like high school friends and stuff, so nobody really watched wrestling. Like I was just posting stuff and they were just like, oh, congrats, girl, I guess, like so eventually I was like, you know what? I was like, I want to make wrestling friends. I was like, that's how I came about with my
yeah.
page. So I opened my page like 2 years ago, going on to 2 years. Um, but that was the main reason. I grew up with no wrestling friends, and probably till this day, I think like right now the only friends I talk wrestling with are the people that I've met in the community. But I don't have like legit friends that are into wrestling. So I'm like,
No, that's how it is. Because when I was young, I had one person. We used to talk about it in the morning, but then I would never see him at school again. So, and if it wasn't for TikTok and the community that I found, I wouldn't have people to talk to either. Like I call them my brothers. They're not really, but I call them my brothers. We're that close. And other than that, I go on my Facebook like I did now. I'll post the live stream. They'll be like, "Oh, that's cool," or congrats. They don't know what's going on. I post my live show reactions and everything. They're like, "Oh, that's cool." I'm like, "Oh, thanks."
they're like, you have no idea how cool it is.
You really don't. Like when I posted the video when I was on the WWE TV when I was doing the bum ass Corbin. Everybody's like, "Oh,
Yeah.
that's cool." Like you don't understand how cool it
You
really
don't know
is. You really,
exactly.
you
You know
really
how hard
don't.
it is to get on there?
Seriously. And I got on twice when I went to SmackDown. That's all I needed.
I've been on a couple of times, luckily. I think like my all-time favorite forever video that I will repost, like I think for the rest of my life, is when Sasha Banks beat Charlotte Flair for the Raw Women's Championship on Raw, and it was here in Staples Center, and I
Okay.
happened to be there, and I had a Sasha Banks sign, and I came out, and I was like, so I think like that's like the one video in memory I would forever hold in my heart. When I came, that was the first time I think I ever came out. I came out after a couple times, but it wasn't as meaningful as that one time.
Yeah, like there was a couple times before then you could see my sign a little bit, but that was the first time like everybody was tagging me. They're like, "Axel, you were on TV," and I'm like, "Really?" And I'm like, "Oh," I'm like, "Oh, that's crazy."
Tell
All
me
right,
you
all right.
didn't rewatch that episode.
Oh, I did rewatch. I rewatched it after that first clip because then the day after they showed me in a second clip, and I'm just like,
Oh
"Oh my
shit!
goodness!" It was me saying thank you, Vince. They actually caught me, and I'm like, that moment right there is kind of cool because
Oh shit!
I'm giving my props and thanks to Vince, and people can see that. It was just that moment.
I don't know if it was me. Did I freeze?
No,
It was. Oh, okay. I was like,
maybe it was me.
I'm like, it froze a little bit. I was like, I wasn't sure if it was me.
No, no. But so you mentioned Lita. Now I have to ask this because I'm one of the biggest Jeff Hardy fans on the community that I know of. I'm sorry. Was it just Lita, or did you like the whole Team Extreme, the Hardy Boys and Lita?
I'm a huge Hardy fan too. So
Okay,
I
okay.
love Team Extreme. I'm a huge Team Extreme fan. But Lita was like the it girl for me. Like, of course we have Trish. I love Trish.
Yeah,
One of the sweetest souls ever. I love her, but Lita was just freaking badass, man. It was like, you have like the girly girl, and then you have like, the tomboy, and Lita was just a shit. And I think her being with Matt and Jeff Hardy, I think it was just, they all just clicked so well. And I loved their entire team. They were so badass. I think she just went well with them. I don't think anybody else would have played that role any better than she did. So
yeah.
I really enjoyed their thing, their
Okay.
little trio thing. But I
Honestly, some
think
people.
my favorite part was probably with Edge. Like that's when we got,
Oh
uh,
man, you see, you see that's where the difference is right now. That's where the difference
oh
is because
no.
that's where I broke off. I don't want to say hate, but I disliked her so much because
Why?
I found out that it was real. Like that's when I started really getting into it. So I was looking stuff up, and I accidentally found some spoilers for the first time, and I found out that the heat was real. So when I found out Matt was really at home and trying to heal, and this is what you do. So there was
Oh
a little,
dang.
but
Oh,
she
okay.
played it perfect.
Oh
I'd give
yeah.
it to her. I don't think no one, and I mean no one else, could bring that real life situation on TV and play it so well.
Oh, absolutely. I completely agree. I agree with that. Let's see. I
Is
think
there
we have some
goodness.
questions, right?
Yeah, I see. Yeah, let's see. Okay, here we go.
Let's see.
Now I see a lot of 50-50 on this too about Shawn Michaels. So
I love Shawn Michaels.
okay, okay. So
I
we're
love
good.
Shawn
We're good.
Michaels. He was I think for oh my god. For me, I think growing up, the one match that would, that little epic crazy moment, I think that we all remember is when he retired Ric Flair. I think that
Yeah.
was one of the most emotional matches or ending of matches that I've had with Shawn Michaels. But above all, I think like the one thing for me was just DX. D Generation X was the freaking shit. He's so funny. I don't know. I just Shawn Michaels was fun to watch. I don't know why people would even not like him. Like he's fun.
Yeah, I don't one of the things I remember the when he quit and Triple H had to go look for him and he was a chef. I recently
Burning
went back to that because my brother Jason he brings up Shawn Michaels all the time. So I'm like, let me actually watch some Shawn Michaels, and that came up, and I'm like, this dude was really just pure comedy. It's like I don't understand how people, and he's one of the
I,
greatest in the ring. So
absolutely, he's freaking great. I think the other one of the other things that stick out to me was when he had that skit with Crime Time. Oh
oh my,
my He's comedy.
shout
He's
out
dead.
Crime
Like
Time.
this guy has played every single fucking role and has played it to the T. I love this man. I don't know how anybody could. I mean, I understand like his whole like when he started was different than
I mean,
towards like but still, I mean, he's Shawn Michaels. Like he made himself that way to be who he was at the end. So I mean, I'm all for it. I loved it. Me rewatching and going back to when he had first came in and stuff.
mhm.
I personally, because I probably already liked him, I liked it. But I didn't watch it through that era, so I don't have many suggestions about that. But through the era that I watched, I loved him. He was amazing.
Yeah, Shawn Michaels, DX, Triple H. Hold on.
Mm.
All right, you need your answer.
Let's
Oh my
see.
goodness. Who do you think is overrated, and why is your answer Bret Hart? I mean, it's only right since we brought up Shawn Michaels. I mean,
Assertive, I get it. I feel it.
thank you, Alex.
Yes, thank you, Alex. Thank you. Why is it Brett? Honestly, I think I would agree. I mean, I
Oh,
rock Bret Hart shirts. I don't get me wrong. I do like the dude. If I were to see him, I'd be like, "Sir, Mr. Hall of Famer." Um, but I do think he was a little bit overrated during his time. I do agree with that. I don't think he was like the greatest. Like for
I
me to be like, oh,
mean,
the best there is, the best there was. I mean, you manifest that shit, right? You gonna say it. If you say it to yourself, you
be
believe it.
that.
I understand it exactly. But to me, I'm just like, I seen better.
Alex, I can't stand you. So, besides the Bret Hart thing, do you see that there's anyone overrated through the years, or
Through the years, overrated. Ooh,
let's see this
um,
one?
damn. I mean, we all think that there's a couple people that are overrated. I think for me, unpopular opinion, and the person that people think is overrated, but I extremely love is Charlotte Flair. I love Charlotte Flair. This girl is an athlete. I already knew it. I knew it. I knew it.
I'm just gonna say my brother Lewis is in the chat, and you probably just made him so happy because me and him just go. But okay, Charlotte Flair.
People may go ahead and say anything off the walls about this woman, but she has put in work. I love her. She may and be called overrated, but I don't think she is, because this girl has always stepped up to the plate. Like, she not only represents her last name, but she represents herself. Like, she made a name for herself. Like, yes, she
Yeah,
has her last name Flair, but you can have the last name, it don't mean anything. Is what
which
you
is
do
true.
with it. So for me, I think she walked the walk, she talked the talk. So I mean, for me, honestly, she is great, even though people think that she may be overrated because she gets pushed a lot. She's always having the titles. But I mean, come on, this girl is mad insane. Like, think everything that she does in the ring, not anybody could just do. Right now, there's so many talented women. I see it all around, from WWE to AEW to Impact Wrestling to ROH to everything. But this girl is athletic as hell. And I give her mad props, because even on her vacays, this girl is going mad crazy, training just to get back.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, Charlotte.
Oh, Charlotte. But I will say this, and I said it on my last podcast. I do think that she might beat Ric Flair's record for the most titles. So I'll give her that.
Okay,
It's
no,
getting there.
no,
No,
no, no, no. Okay, you want to know why? Because they played hot potato with the motherfucking goddamn title. Sorry,
I
I don't know if
mean,
I could cuss in here.
no,
I don't know if I
yeah,
can cuss in here. Okay,
yeah.
but they played hot potato with this goddamn title between her and Sasha for a cool as minute that it got her like 7 title reigns. Like, bro, each fucking title reign was like a week to a month long. It don't count. So for me,
What you
I
mean?
don't think it don't count. It don't. It don't. It's not a solid reign. Like, you just can't just, I don't want to have it this month. Here you go.
Kind of.
I so that, I don't know. For me, that's the one thing that I don't like. I love that, she has all these reigns and stuff, that she has like the title numbers. But I feel like most of those title reigns were not legit to me.
Man.
I
Wait.
I love her. I
Sen-
love
sen-
her, but and I'm saying I just don't feel like a lot of her reigns were legit. Like, I feel like she could have
Ooh,
kept
I
them
got you.
longer, or she just couldn't have gotten
Yeah.
them back. I don't know.
S- Since you just said that, I just remembered something.
Okay.
If you had to name, this is out of the blue, but since you said that number thing, if you had to give a Mount Rushmore of intercontinental champions, who would that be?
Ooh,
I just have to
shit.
see this real quick.
God damn. Intercontinentals. Miz for sure. All time favorite heel.
Definitely.
Has to be the Miz. For sure. Ooh, who else would I throw in there? God damn. Mount Rushmore for intercontinentals. Damn, I haven't really thought about this one. Hmm.
Just need three more.
Just three more.
Yeah, it's not that hard, you know.
Eddie Guerrero. I do agree with Eddie. But I think he's just top. I think for me is he's just top everything on Mount Rushmore. He would be on my Mount Rushmore wrestling period.
Eddie.
Yes, for sure. And next to John Cena and maybe Undertaker. But for Intercontinental Championship, Shawn Michaels for sure.
Okay.
I would add, yes. So two. Who else? Um, mm, mm, mm. I think for me so far, mm, someone that really sticks out to me. Can't think of anything right now. No, I think I only got two right now.
Only
Only
two.
got two right now.
I just
Only got
asked
two
that
right now.
because a lot of people get upset if you don't put Chris Jericho on your Mount Rushmore of Intercontinental Champions, but you brought up the Charlotte Flair hot potato thing, so I just wanted to see if it.
Mm,
But
mm. Chris Jericho is one of the greatest of all time. I do want to say that. This guy
yeah,
has solidly been like this. This dude had a pop just from his beginning debut. So I think from going from Y2J to going to everything into everything that he's become in AEW, because I think it's a completely different role that we've seen from Chris Jericho. Like we've seen him hit
Yeah.
every single role, and I honestly think that he's one of the great for him to be doing it for so long, including with Sting, and be doing this actively like full time, like.
Man.
Dude, like that is insane. Definitely mad props to him, and I do think he's one of the greatest of all time. Christian as well. I see Christian on them.
Hey, Christian.
Oh my God,
So
Christian.
are you Christian over Edge?
Yes,
Okay.
without hesitation.
Without hesitation, not even. She said Edge. Oh yeah, definitely Edge. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, Christian,
Yes.
definitely. That's crazy. I mean, I could see why.
But see, Edge is because I still have like a little grudge on him because he switched, that spinner build to the rated R.
I was there. By the way.
No way.
Yep, they were in Connecticut. I was there when Lita threw the original in the water. It was crazy. That was when Jeff returned too after all his problems before then. That night was amazing. And that's when DX sprayed the corporate building.
The building, yep.
Yeah. It was real too, by the way. It wasn't like no digital.
Shut
It was
up.
real. My grandfather
What?
took me by the building the next day and it was still there.
I hope
It
you
was
took a
legit.
picture.
It's somewhere in my grandmother's house. It's somewhere. It's somewhere.
We need that throwback.
So I noticed you said The Undertaker as well. Do you think he's one of the GOATs?
Absolutely. Absolutely. This guy, I mean, he's the OG, like the OG. I mean, you can count, Hulk Hogan and everybody as OGs and stuff, but I Undertaker. Like for me, if I think wrestling, I think Undertaker. If you're not a wrestling fan, you think Undertaker. Like Undertaker is just the ultimate, like, GOAT. Like anything dark or anything, within wrestling, it's Undertaker. So definitely. I'm a huge fan. I actually want to get him tatted, but there's one specific picture I'm looking for, and I have not been able to find it for like years, and I'm still trying to look for that picture, but I can't say what
Like
picture.
him himself
But
or just
yes,
the logo? Him
no,
himself?
him himself.
Wow.
Yeah, his face. So, but Undertaker for sure. This dude's like freaking legit. I would love to meet him. I think even more now, now that since he's retired and he separated himself from his active role, he's been more like, being out there, being himself. And I think within like those 30 years that he was just wrestling, which I understand and I love that he was so dedicated to his roles. And he portrayed that even outside of it. But we didn't get to see a lot of Undertaker's real life during his, during his run. So for me,
the American Badass a little bit.
A little bit, but no.
That was the closest.
Yes, but I mean more of like you didn't get to see who he really was, like just that chill guy that you get to talk to in the back, give you advice and stuff like that. So I think seeing all of that now, I would love to sit down with him and like talk to him just regarding to his experiences through that time. 30 years is a lot. You go through a lot. There's a lot of stories in there.
It really is like shit. So many different gimmicks. It's crazy. Got another one. Thoughts on Daniel Bryan?
Thoughts on Daniel Bryan or Bryan Danielson?
Or Bryan Danielson, whichever way.
Whichever floats your boat. Whatever floats your boat. I like him. He's a great wrestler. I honestly wasn't a fan until he showed up to AEW. His whole entire time in WWE, I was not a fan. I was not for it from beginning to end. I'm gonna go ahead and say it, I was not a fan. I was not until he went to AEW. I started to like him, and him just I don't know, like just I like the ruggedness that he brings in the ring. I all fucking for it because dude, like we love when somebody gets nasty in there. But I don't know. For me, I don't think he was. Crazy. I don't know. I just something about him just didn't give me the vibes when he was in WWE. And I think like right now with the Blackpool
Combat Club.
Combat Club. See that I'm always confusing those things. So many goddamn clubs, man. Sheesh.
Everyone got a club nowadays, but yeah.
Everybody. Liz Club. I'm just kidding. But no, yeah, I think what he's doing now, I love it. I'm all for it. He's more edgy, and but the thing is that I feel like his music don't go with him, or is
Are
it
you
just me?
what? You don't like
His
his what?
No, I'm not saying it. I don't like it. I'm just saying it doesn't go with him. Like when he comes out, like he doesn't like. I don't know. He doesn't look like somebody that would be at the club.
I mean, you're not lying. I mean, he did look a little out of place when the dude who sings the song came out and started. He did look a little out of place. I won't lie, but I mean, I
I
think it's a
like it.
match.
I like it. I mean, I like it, but I mean, I don't know. I mean,
I still can't believe
if
it. So
it,
nothing,
if
nothing. Daniel Bryan, you didn't like anything.
I swear I did it when he did that whole eco-friendly freaking championship belt too. I was like a no-go for me. I was like, I would never buy that. I don't know. I just wasn't into it. I whatever reason, I don't know why. And people are probably gonna hate me on here, but I am also not huge on FTR. I think they're great. Don't get me wrong. They're freaking amazing. I'm just not a fan.
Yeah, I mean,
Unpopular opinions today.
wow.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. But no, they're amazing. They're great. Don't get me wrong. I think that they're one of the greatest tag teams out there. It's just for me, there's something about them as well as Daniel Bryan at that time.
Yeah,
Brian Danielson, I don't got a problem with. Daniel Bryan, yeah, like, but I think for me, FTR just came more of I didn't like them because I didn't like them in WWE as well. Um,
okay,
but when they came to AEW, I was still kind of like, I don't like you, but you good though.
you
So
alright.
I mean, yeah, I was like, you're cool, you alright, you got titles. But no, I think they're great. I give them, I give them their credit. They're amazing in the ring. I mean, in singles and in tag teams. But not my type of
I
not my
mean,
type of party.
so who do you think right now is the best tag team?
Damn, best tag team. I don't know. I would honestly, I think the Street Profits are amazing. Um,
That's
I
wow.
think
Okay.
they're really great, and I think I love Montez Ford. Don't get me wrong, but I think he just gets way too much credit in this tag team
You are
that
about to
I
make so many
feel
people happy in the comments.
I feel that Dawkins does not get enough credit, and this dude is insane. Like this guy is for being a tall, big dude. Like this
No,
dude got
yeah,
hops. Like this dude's mad insane. So I think them together, just period. I love them. I was kind of getting upset when we started hearing those rumors that they were separating them, or
me,
and I
yeah,
was like,
me.
there's no way. Like you cannot separate a legit fucking team like at all. But for me, honestly, Angelo underrated. Yes, absolutely. Like I was mentioning.
Yep.
So for me, honestly, right now, I think they're one of the hottest things going on right now. Definitely the future. I know that right now the it team is the bloodline. Everybody loves the bloodline. They've been amazing and we've been
Don't say
seeing them
everybody. I'm not everybody. I'm not everybody now.
mostly like 90% of the world is like, into the bloodline.
Yeah,
But no, I think
terrible.
they're amazing. I think what Swerve and Keith Lee have going on right now, but I think that has like the it thing right now in AEW tag team wise, I would probably say it's the Acclaimed, my all time favorite. They're also one of my favorites.
I
They're
love the
getting
acclaim. I
they're
love the
amazing.
acclaim. I love
I
them.
love the
They took some
everybody
time to
loves
grow
the
on me. I'm not gonna lie. They took some
really.
time. They took some time because I don't. It wasn't. I was like,
I
it's another rap group and all that, but they grew on me. I don't know what it is. I'm over here saying "scissor me, daddy ass" right with them. Like I'm. It's like I did
tongue
say it
out and
too.
everything.
I I said it during the pay per view. I said if they beat them, I will buy that shirt. And it's still so when
Ooh,
they get the title match again, if
it's on
they
your
win,
card.
I'm buying the shirt. I don't care. I don't know how the hell you get something like that over. I don't know how.
Right? Exactly. They
Like
they're doing amazing, man. They're incredible. Honestly, I think like Max Caster is just I think he brings a lot of that persona into it, and
Yeah,
just with Bowens, I think they just match each other's vibes.
it's
They're
perfect.
complete opposites, but it works so perfect. And I love it. I think so far right now, for at least those two brands, those would be my top favorites. Like if I were to go to a show, and who I would expect to see would be the Street Profits and the Acclaim for sure as tag teams.
I can respect that. I didn't get to see the Acclaim. I was kind of upset.
I got to
I
see
didn't.
them.
I didn't get.
Uh,
I know. I saw. You know, you had to get up on and everything.
yes,
So
that was my cosplay. I was, oh my god, I think it was like what still one of my favorites. I don't know how I pulled. It's right here in my pants. Probably
oh
seeing
yeah,
like
I
in
see
the
them
corner.
in. Yeah, I see them in the back.
In the corner.
No,
uh,
it was good. It was pretty good.
it was crazy. It was so funny. A lot of people were asking me if I bought those pants off of him, and I'm like, thanks, but no, I made these.
I didn't even know that those they really did look official. I was gonna ask, where the hell do you get some of this stuff? Because it's like the merch is almost a little too close.
No, I
But
actually made those pants myself, so
that's
thank you.
pretty. That's good. Yeah. Let's see. We got more. All right. Fine, Mitri.
We the ones, baby.
Oh my god.
Okay, like
Yeah.
it's Daddy Roman. Like,
Oh
hello.
my god. Oh my god. Brought the shirt to life. I can't. You happy,
Let's
Mitri?
see.
Y'all the ones. Y'all the ones. There you go. Y'all can have that. Y'all can have that. Let's see. Before we, because I
Oh
do want to
man.
get to AEW. So- Oh, somebody asked. Well, yes. There we go. Thoughts on John Moxley?
Ooh, my fave. Fave. Definitely one of my top people, and I am upset that he was not one of the top 10. This dude has put in mad work. Mad work. I understand had to step away a little bit, for personal reasons, but he understood the assignment. He knew that he
Which is
had an
good.
issue. He knew that he had to get himself together, step away, and come
Hmm.
back stronger, and he did. So honestly, I don't think he got the credit that he deserved this year. But I love Moxley. I think the greatest thing that could have happened to him, and it sounds horrible, was him being released from WWE. The best thing, I think, with everything that's going on right now with Seth Rollins and the Bloodline, I don't
Hmm.
think that they would have had a space for Moxley there as Dean Ambrose. So I think for me, honestly, the best thing that happened to him was going to AEW and making that his. So and then
Which
when
it
you think
is.
AEW, yeah, when you think AEW or AEW Championship, you think John Moxley. At
Two
least for
time.
me, like that's
Two
yeah,
time.
that is the first person that I think of. So I love what he's doing now. I liked what he was doing. It was just a little bit cringy when he was, doing the lunatic thing. But but
Some things, yes. Some things, yes. But not all of it.
yeah,
Come on.
not all of it, but some things were a little cringy, but other things like I'm like, okay, like I feel it goes with you. You a little crazy. But I feel like him getting full control, or I hope he got full control and made John Moxley his thing. 'Cause I know Moxley
I
was
think
his
so.
previous name, and then him bringing it back and stuff. But I think he just made it bigger and better. So I definitely think he's amazing now with what he's doing.
Oh
Thanks,
my.
Haley, for that question.
So on the AEW, unless it was Moxley, what brought you to AEW? What made you want to watch AEW? Because I see you got the title, and you really gotta. I'm sorry, but that title, you really gotta like AEW to have one of those.
That
Like,
was actually a gift.
oh well, see, well there you go. But still, you got the title.
But honestly, for me, I think it was just a whole new promotion. I was barely getting into the indie scene at that time, so for me, just to see another major promotion was so huge. I wish I could have gone to the first All Out. Was it All Out or Double or no? The first Double or Nothing at Vegas when they had everything, when they sold out in like 2 minutes. I
Yeah,
unfortunately couldn't get tickets. I tried to be there, but I think it was just that. Like for me, it was just a whole new promotion. It was just a fresh breath air, I would say. and then I think just seeing talent, new talent that hasn't been recognized or hasn't been seen before, I think was one of the things I was like, damn, like this is badass. And it was completely different. I understand people like to compare AEW to WWE, but I think there's just like comparing apples to pears. Like they're completely two different brands.
Yeah.
They both have different goals. The goal is, of course, to always entertain the public and entertain the fans, but overall their goal when it comes to making a show, there's completely different. So I don't think that they should be compared in certain ways, but I think overall for me, I've been happy with the product that AEW has brought. I sometimes it has its hiccups, but for the 4 years that they have there, they've been fucking solid. With their talent, I understand that they got a lot of ex WWE superstars and stuff, but at the end of the day, like it was just kind of like a business type of thing. Like, they need names to be
Yeah.
able to attract people. So that is the one thing that people don't understand. At the same time, like, oh, they're just getting it like because they're trying to get, people that follow them and their fans, to come along to AEW. A lot of people tend to be really close-minded when it comes to anything aside from WWE. So I think
Telling me. That's crazy. That's crazy.
but overall it was getting another promotion period that I got really intrigued. I was like, okay, like I want to see what they're about. I'm like, if I like it, I like it. If I don't, I don't. But it was wrestling, so I knew I was gonna like it.
I feel like for me it was Moxley, but I wasn't as lucky as everybody. They got some people I know got to see the good stuff first. I got to see the fireworks show. John Moxley versus Kenny Omega.
Ooh, live?
No. That was my first ever.
Oh, first
Like
ever show.
I knew of AEW, all that, but I didn't watch it as much. But really getting into it, that was my first pay-per-view, and I was so disappointed. I was so
Oh,
disappointed. But I get
why?
because that was like the build up for it, like this explosive barbed wire death match. This is what it's gonna like. Okay, this is what they do in places like New Japan. I hear my boys talk about it, so this is gonna be no. It was nothing. All it was Moxley protect. It's like they tried so hard. I give it to Eddie Kingston. He sold that completely. I couldn't have done that. I think I would have been chuckling after noticing that. I gave it some time. I did have my a little dislike towards them for taking all of them until, like you said, I realized the business decision. Look at all the people they're taking, and now if I'm really a fan of these wrestlers, I'll go watch them.
Mhm.
It was 100 when Jeff went. By the way, that was like okay,
Oh
that's
yeah.
it. I guess I got to watch every week now. But it started with Bryan Danielson. It started with Adam Cole. That All Out, the way it ended, I think
Oh.
that was the big point where they were like, okay, like now I see what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Because all the people, I was sad that Daniel Bryan left. I'm different from you. I enjoyed most of, like, I won't say all of it because I wasn't a fan of the eco-friendly either. That title was ugly. But so when he left, I was like, dang, like that's it. But then, oh, I'm good to go. And he shows up on AEW, and I'm like, now I gotta watch again. And he might become AEW world champion.
Mm-hmm. I still see it. I can definitely still see that. I think right now it's just the whole thing with Moxley and like it's just being around
It
Moxley.
it's like
Um,
I'm okay with him being 3-time. I love Moxley. He's my favorite out of the whole Shield and everything. So if he's the first ever 3-time world champion, I mean, you ain't gonna hear nothing from me. But I feel like Brian deserves it a lot because since he's came in, he was the opposite of. We'll get on him in a little bit. CM Punk. He came in. He said, "Screw the young talent," but he's actually
mhm.
putting the young talent over. So I think now it's his. I feel like his. I mean, look at Daniel Garcia.
Oh yes.
It's like Brian did that. Of course, Garcia had a play in it, but Brian, I don't think anybody else could have put him over like that.
Mm-mm. That was a really great match.
And then they
That
had him take the title from my boy Yuta, but whatever. But anywho,
I
I was so
I know.
upset.
I was so shocked that they took it
I
away
got
from
to
him
meet Yuta
so
at the
soon.
AEW show I went to, and I'm
And
so
he had the
mad.
title.
And he had the title. I actually missed that AEW when he lost it, so I'm in the Zoom with my brother, and they're like, "Yeah," and I mean, Brian Danielson got Daniel Garcia to win the Ring of Honor Pure title. I'm like, "Excuse me." So I go on my phone, I look on Google, I'm like, "No." I'm like, "No." I was so upset because I just posted the picture of all four of them. Three of them had the titles. Now the picture is just, it was so bad.
Oh man. No, I was actually I was surprised that they took it away from him so soon. I would have thought he would hold on to it a little bit
Let's
longer.
since we're there, let's talk about it. Where's your stance with everything that's going on? Because I tried to stay away from it, but it's gotten a lot bigger than what I thought it would.
On what?
I on the CM Punk and AEW stuff.
Oh.
Because
This is entertaining to me, honestly. Um, like it's like I like to call wrestling a novela. It's what it is. It's never ending
that's what
drama.
that's
And
what my
some of
grandmother
the
called it.
and some of the drama is hella exaggerated. But no, honestly for me, I am a fan of both sides. I don't know who the fuck Ace Steel is. I'm not a fan of him.
You
I'm a
you
fan of
you
CM
got you got
Punk.
me too. I don't know who that is.
I am a fan of the Young Bucks. I'm a fan of Kenny Omega. I'm a fan of everybody that was related into this issue.
Yeah.
But honestly, for me, I think I don't know. I don't know what Punk was thinking. I think just getting more information now, from the initial time that when I had first talked about it, of how I felt about the situation, I didn't know that he had the intent of doing this for weeks already.
Yeah.
So it was like, if this was your intent, boy, what was the whole thing of you having to win or having to have your
Exactly.
match at All Out? Like, you had already lost. Like, just take your loss, my boy. Go heal up, go do what you gotta do, come back, heal yourself. I mean, if you had shit to get off your chest, it should have been done, at that moment, not, oh, you know what, let me get the title in like 3 days
Hmm.
and then blow the fuck up. And I mean, I would assume he would know he wasn't going to keep the title, but he probably thought that he probably thought, I don't know. I think it was just the comfortness that he had in that interview. Tony Khan, of
Too much
course, a lot.
comfortness.
A lot. I think for me, a lot of people are giving shit to Tony Khan as well, for the way that he didn't do anything. But you have to understand that it's not like he could have just stood up and be like, "Get the fuck out." Like, he could have if he wanted to be a fucking
Yeah,
dick.
yeah. He
But
could have.
he could
He could
have if
have.
he, yeah, exactly. But at the end of the day, he was probably like, I'm gonna just go ahead and let him talk, see what the fuck he's gonna say, and then just handle it at the end, behind closed doors, in private, shit, how it should have been handled. But then again, like I've said, we don't know what happened, so I don't know if maybe Punk has addressed the issues and was like, well, you're not listening to me, so now I'm gonna come out here to the public and
Hmm.
let out what I've been trying to tell you for the last couple weeks, and we're gonna fucking deal with it now because it's gonna be out in the open. Who knows? There's a truth, and then there's what's going on. But for me, honestly, I just think it's entertaining. I'm just having fun with it. I'm having fun with the memes. I'm having fun with the
The memes are
TikToks and the
ridiculous.
reels and the everything and shit. I'm just like, I'm even sharing stuff and adding a little note like, Tony Khan, don't ban me, please. I'm just having fun. It's all jokes.
I'm done. I'm
It's
done with
just
Tony. Tony don't play. You post anything on TikTok, anything you get copyrighted. Tony don't play. He don't.
I know. Tell me about it. When I went to Double or Nothing, some of my stories didn't even post, or if they did post, they got
Hmm.
removed like a couple hours later.
It,
And I'm
it
like, fool, I paid for a ticket. Like, I'm gonna get a
right, and that's what
video.
I'm saying. Like this. Like I paid for the pay per view. Can I Claudio just debuted? Why can't I? It was. I'm like,
Exactly. I know.
so I don't post. I rarely post anything. I post a
I
picture on the green screen and
oh.
talk about it. That's about it.
No, I learned to post after, like way after, like, I'm like, oh,
Okay,
throwback to like 2 weeks ago. And then I noticed that my
makes
shit doesn't
sense.
disappear. Because it's not the hype at the moment. So they're not really
Yeah.
concerned, I guess. So they're just, it's like whatever's. But anything that's within the hype and everything that's going on, quick. Instagram is quick to tell you this is copyrighted. You cannot have it.
Oh
I'm
yeah,
like,
Instagram. I be reposting my own TikToks, and my Instagram name is the same as my TikTok name, and they still ban it in some countries because it might be copyrighted.
shut
It's
up.
this
Oh my
when
God.
I posted the stuff for your interview, it said some of this is out of some countries. I'm like, for what? This might be another
What?
person, bro. It's the same name. It's me.
That's crazy.
But
That's
it's what
crazy.
yeah,
And
Instagram.
Instagram's wild, man. I
The
don't know
TikTok's
what.
bad
I don't know
too.
what.
I
Oh,
knew
I've
it was Tony
heard.
Khan. I knew it was Tony Khan when it said copyrighted. I said, okay, sir,
Oh,
you
well,
got it.
it's either okay. So it's either him or it's Fight, because Fight
Oh yeah,
does
that's
that too.
true. That's
Fight
true.
is mm,
That's
you know.
true.
I was gonna say the A word, but they're about the pay-per-views, for sure, they do not let you
That's
post
true.
shit. They're quick to pull your stuff and be like, nope, this is mine. This belongs to us. You are not gonna get any views. You're not gonna get nothing.
Since we're talking about the big things going on right now, how do you feel about MJF? Were you happy? Well, I saw some of the. I didn't see every reaction, but were you happy when
Yeah.
you? Did you know it was
Well,
him? Did you know it was him?
no, okay, because at first, because I was talking to a friend and I was just like, oh, I'm pretty sure it's probably like Scorpio Sky. And my friend was like, he was like, you do know that Scorpio Sky came out without a mask, and I was like, oh well, I'm drunk, so I don't know what it's going on. I was at a watch party and I was having like hella shots by that time, so I had to
Oh man.
rewatch the pay-per-view, and I had already. But the thing is that I was drunk enough to react that he was on, and I recorded it, so it was on my stories that he showed up. So I was
Mm-hmm.
surprised the following morning when I saw my stories. I
I
was like,
mean, well, there you
shut the fuck
go.
up. MJF came back, and I was like, well, at least I got it. But no, I loved it. I rewatched that because they posted on YouTube. And I rewatched that video like 1,000 times already. And it's still kind of like, I'm like, damn, like if I would have been there, I would have gotten goosebumps. Because this was the most anticipated return that we've been wanting for the
Mm-hmm.
last couple months.
Yeah.
You know, since he had his whole blowout here in LA, I was actually there.
Nice.
What's it
Wow.
called? So I would, dude, we were going fucking crazy. Like crowd was going crazy. And I think I remember that because I ended up watching the show after. I think that they ended up cutting everything out. And I remember some just like, oh, these motherfuckers. I'm just like, they muted all of us because we were still chanting MJF by the time we came back off air.
For real?
So yeah, like that
That's
when they
crazy.
because you know how they cut it. So they cut
Mm-hmm.
it. CM Punk was like coming out, and I think people were seeing that CM Punk was coming out. So people were texting me because I was in an arena, like my shit was slow. So I was
Yeah.
getting stuff, but I couldn't respond. And everybody kept asking me, like, why did Punk come out? What happened? What happened with Punk? And I'm just like, nothing. Like, I'm like, MJF just literally left. CM Punk came to the ring, and then he just like looked at him, and then he just took off. Like, literally nothing happened. But I was there. That shit was iconic. I was literally like so shook.
Fucking lucky. That
Well,
shit.
for me, honestly, I was excited because as soon as his song hit, I like put my phone away. I was like, I'm just trying to see him. And I think if I would have known that that moment was gonna happen, my phone would have been out. But I was just trying to enjoy it because it was the first time I was seeing MJF. So like that. So because I got to see him at DON. So
Yeah.
the night, like a couple nights before that, because I had gone to Vegas for Double or
Yeah. Yeah.
Nothing. So I was like, okay, I was like, oh my God, I was like all excited, and everything. So I didn't have my phone out and everything happened. I was just like, and then you can see me
Well,
for like a
fuck.
split second when they were like showing the whole crowd and stuff, like chanting MJF. You can kind of see me for like a split second on the screen. I was just like, yes, I made it.
0.1 seconds. I got it.
Like a millisecond. But you know it's me because I had the green hair. But no, I was so I think like when it happened, I was just like, holy shit. Like I think we've all been waiting for it. We all knew it was gonna happen. And if it would have been any person, we all knew it would have been MJF.
Yeah.
Because he's just that dude. So honestly for me, I was so ecstatic that he was back. I thought that he was going to return sooner, but I think that the way that it happened was perfect. But unfortunately, the media scrum that happened after just took out the shine from that, and I was upset because instead of focusing on that, we were all focusing on all of that.
The
But
media
we were
stuff. Yeah.
focusing, but we were focusing on it because we were making memes out of this bitch, you know. Like,
Yeah. It was. It was.
but I think overall we all appreciated that moment because you can hear it and feel it through the crowd
And they were in
of how
Chicago, and
how
they cheered.
exactly that is how I was just like and they're in Chicago, and I was like in his own home, and I was like, especially you know how they wrapped up the show and he came out and stuff and did all
Mm-hmm.
that. But for me, what got me, and I was just like, damn, like they made his return worthwhile. Like I think they kind of presented him properly when they showed that when they played that voicemail. That voicemail, I was like dead ass. Like this was how he had to come back. Like it.
I was at
I
work,
don't
so I
know.
didn't get to hear the voicemail. I was on a Zoom watching it, but
Yeah.
when But when the video of Punk came up, that's when I knew. I'm like,
You're
oh shit! I'm like, oh, he's actually back, and it made sense. My my bro Casey, he's one of the biggest MJF fans, and like from him coming out with the mask on, he was just like, yo, he has a devil mask. You know, like remember what he said about Punk? You know, and then he actually did a side by side comparison of him like walking in the ring with the mask on and how he swept his feet next to
oh
MJF doing it. He
shit.
was like, bro, it's the same. And I was like, bro, there's no way.
I
So
was
when it
so drunk. I didn't
happened,
notice
I,
this.
I was the fact he's been waiting for MJF since the whole like he's been waiting. So when it happened, he just got it on cue. I was like, there's no way. Like, why would they bring him back in this random ladder match?
Yeah.
And then he's
It
not
just
even
made
really with
sense
the
though.
faction. It was just but like you said, at the end of the day, it made sense. It's MJF.
Yeah, it makes I like I think like no matter how crazy his storylines are, they make sense for him. Which is crazy. Like the whole Jericho thing, that made sense. Like everything that went on there, like it just like he just flows from one person to the next so smoothly, which is what I
It's
love
crazy.
about his character. Like this guy moves on like like you wouldn't even remember that this dude was just beefing with fucking Wardlow. Like I was
Which I
like, what the
forgot. I'm
fuck?
not even gonna lie.
Which is his match at Double or Nothing. And then that Wednesday he came out and blew up. Like you see, he transitioned within those days. He transitioned
Hmm.
because you had him lose at Double or Nothing, and then within from Double or Nothing that Sunday to that Wednesday at Dynamite, those couple days they were like, well, MJF's gonna leave, he's leaving on the flight. No, he's not, he's staying. He did the
That
pay-per-view. Oh, now he's
that was
leaving,
crazy.
he's not showing up to LA, he's not doing. But there was just so much going on and it was just so hectic that by the time that he got to LA it was like a whole other MJF. And shit popped off, and then from there now it's just CM Punk. And like, what the fuck? Like, you were just beefing with your security guard, fool. Like, this dude did you dirty.
It's
He
not the
gave
security
you a ring.
guard.
Like, then
Not
don't
the.
get me wrong, I love Warlow. Like that's War Daddy. You know.
Oh god! And then he got that shirt that just came out too.
I
I'm like, oh
stop.
my
I
goodness.
hopped on that so quick. I hopped on it so quick. I was like, expedite this shit. And I'm just kidding. I can't, unfortunately. But
I don't think you can with them anyway. Like
no, you can't. No, that's what
it's
I said.
so
I'm like,
bad. It's
unfortunately,
so
it
bad.
sucks. Oh, I know. I've been waiting for a shirt too, for like a couple of weeks. Like I think like a week or so. Like almost going on to 2 weeks. I'm waiting for a
Yeah,
shirt.
it took
Um.
my Adam Cole shirt like 3 weeks to get here almost.
Oh shit.
It was crazy
Damn. So I shouldn't expect it for like another week and a half.
around there.
Damn.
Yeah,
Okay. I was like,
I
damn.
legit think they make the like they have to make the shirt as you order
Yeah.
it because there's not
Yeah,
because
they do.
you see
Then
because there's no
yeah.
other reason.
Well, did you read the notice when you purchased?
I don't read all that. I just buy. Hurry up, get to my
Well,
house.
the first sentence says it's made to order.
I'm just
It
trying to
takes
get
up
there.
to some days.
Y'all hear that? Read stuff. Don't just click and buy.
Read the fine print, y'all. Read the
Read the
fine
fine
print.
print because you're gonna be like me. So okay,
You're over
so it
here
does make sense
emailing
because
them
that's
like
what I
3 days
said. They
later, like,
have to
hey, where's
make
my
the shirt
shit at?
as you order it because it doesn't make like almost a month. That's
Yeah.
crazy. But okay, so they
Everything's
okay.
but it makes sense because they have so many designs for so many wrestlers that it just makes sense for them to just buy the shirt and then just
Hmm.
print the design as they're being made and stuff.
Yeah,
And I mean, I'm pretty sure they got these big ass goddamn machines that they just and then all the colors are on there.
yep,
Yeah, exactly. So I think that's why for them it's just easier, but it does give those couple days, give it that time that they need if
yeah,
something were to go wrong. But yes, it's made to order.
yeah. No, I know. That's terrible. Oh, okay. See, I was gonna ask you about this too, since somebody just said this. You could let them know if you'll ever do this. I don't know. My brother Josiah and his stardustness. I don't know what's going on.
Damn, maybe. Who knows? You should follow me. Stay tuned. Who
There you
knows?
go.
Maybe I will. Maybe I won't. Maybe I will. Who knows?
And
But I don't give out cosplay sneak peeks until I do the cosplay. So if I come out with it, I'm just gonna hit you with
which
it.
is dope because you just it's just random.
You just don't know what's coming. Right now I'm working on one. Legit. So I'm gonna be posting that soon. So this one is, I like it.
I don't know if it's gonna top Billy Kay and the Rhea Ripley one, but we'll see.
Oh,
And Sasha Banks, because when I saw that Sasha one, that's another one. I'm like, what the like? You put a lot into it. I'll tell you that.
oh, thank you, thank you. Oh my God, Sasha is like my all-time favorite. I have done this girl's fits for I think since like 2016. I've gradually adjusted them as I did them. Like the first time that I ever did it was just regular t-shirt, but I had the red hair, and I think that's how it all started. I actually had red hair at that time, and she was going from red to like pink type
The
of
pinkish
color.
purple, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So she
that.
was like transitioning in that, but she was still kind of like still red. So I was like, well, I could definitely do this. I'm like, I only have to get the shirt. And then my first ever event was a couple months before that. And I had gotten like my first title ever, which you can see right there is one of those little kids plastic ones. Is this one right here in
Oh,
the corner.
yeah.
So that was my first title ever. And I picked that up at Staples Center at my first show. I think it was like a holiday show. And then a couple months later, they came back, and I was like, "Well, I gotta do Sasha." And I bought my first Sasha show shirt at the venue too, so it kind of like just flowed with it. And ever since then, like I been a Sasha fan since NXT. I didn't know Sasha before that, so I've been a fan of Sasha since NXT. So I was like, okay, I was like, you know what? I'm like, this girl's gonna be here for a while. I was like, I know she's gonna stick around. They're pushing her, they're putting her out there, especially with like the whole entire. They were already starting the whole over the four horsewomen thing.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, she's gonna be here for a long time. Like this girl's not gonna be, just gone or thrown out to the back, anything. So I think that's where it kind of just started. I started putting a lot of my focus on wanting to like buy her t-shirts and everything. And eventually I started trying out wigs. And then from there it just kind of like took off. I just started buying the little um what's it called? Those breast
The,
knuckle things that she carries.
yeah,
Yeah.
the finger rings, yeah, whatever
Yeah,
they're
I
called.
have.
Yeah.
I ended up getting those. I got the boss chain. I ended up getting all of that, and then
No,
like the fits.
the hair is hilarious because that's it's like it's crazy.
The hair is like the one thing. See, I actually have a couple. I'll show you guys.
There it
I have a
goes.
couple.
Oh, and it's
We
the
got the
Shotzi.
Shotzi. I don't know if you've seen this Shotzi. The Shotzi's been like I think like a year and a half since I've done that look, but we've done Shotzi as well. I just haven't done the with the helmet. I had initially bought the helmet because I was supposed to go to a SmackDown show, and my whole entire fit was supposed to be Shotzi. My entire package didn't arrive, so I was so
Wow.
upset. But I had already bought the hair. I had already bought everything. So luckily, there was a there's a store out here that sells merchandise. They're called the Wrestling Guy Store. They're located in Huntington Park. They carry a lot of the incoming WWE brand shirts, like everything that's
Yeah.
coming in for all the wrestlers. And I ended up messaging them. I was like, "Yo, like, do you guys still have Shotzi shirts? Because I know that they had some, but people were trying to like pick them up. So I was
Hmm.
like, hey, do you happen to have one by any chance? And they just so happen to have one in my size. So I was just like, oh my God, yes.
Lucky.
I ended up
Yeah.
picking it up like a day before the show. And then that package with the helmet, because I was so looking forward to the helmet, didn't arrive till like a week later. So I was like, damn
Damn.
it. Like it sucks. So I have yet to do that cosplay yet. So hopefully soon.
Fine, Jason. Fine, Jason.
Starting.
This the last one I'm gonna do.
No, no, it's a no go for me. It's a no go for
You see,
me. That's a
you put
no
that on
go.
yourself. You put that
No,
on yourself. You put that on yourself, Jason. I tried to
that's a no go for me from beginning to now. It's a no go for me. I'm sorry. I'm just not a fan. I'm not feeling him. Haven't
with
been
nothing
feeling.
even before or
No, not even with Jordan. No, the Alpha, whatever it was. No, not it. No. I just didn't. I just not him. Shoot that annoying as hell. No, no. I
but
give it to him. I give it to him. He's trying. And it's working for him because I'm starting to see that it's picking up. So people are signing up to his university, but not me. I'm okay. I'm good on his academy. No, no, no.
you're not trying to get with the Alpha Academy.
Nah, I'm fine. It's okay. I'll watch from the outside.
All right. So the last thing I want to ask before we do
Okay.
go, I see
All
that you
right.
do the interviews and everything.
Mhm.
How is that? Like, because I look at it, I get a little jealous. I'm not gonna lie, but as a wrestling fan, seeing another wrestling fan doing something like that, it kind of makes me happy. So how does that feel when you're doing that stuff and you attend all the shows and everything like that?
Honestly, it's surreal. I till this day I still can't believe I'm doing this. I like I said, I opened my page 2 years ago. I never thought that I would be interviewing wrestlers, like let alone interacting with them, just even if it's brief backstage. Like it's crazy. Like you said, like being a wrestling fan, I'm used to just being behind the barricade. I'm not used to
Hmm.
seeing everything that goes on backstage. You don't see them all getting along. You don't see them being best friends. You don't see them, hanging out or having their discussions of, what they're going to be, going up to, what they're going to
Hmm.
be doing and stuff like that. But the interviews alone, honestly, for me, I have a lot of anxiety. So it gives me a lot of anxiety before. And I'm just like,
I could understand that. That's why that's
and
another thing. I give you props because me,
like for me, honestly, I don't know how I do it because sometimes like I'm good with constructive criticism. I'm all for it. I love it. Like if you ever see a video, you're like, hey Liz, like I feel like maybe you should have probably done this or asked this question
Mhm.
or things like that. I'm all for it. I love constructive criticism. I take it very well. Unless you're being hella rude and like you just want to be nasty. But um I think so far I kind of been learning a little bit from a lot of the creators that I've been following and a lot of podcasters. And I think that has a lot to do with it because honestly, I'm new to putting myself just out there. Like I was used to just posting pictures
Yeah.
until I got onto All Things Wrestling podcast. That was like the first time that I've ever done anything like that. And for me, I think that's kind of what pushed me to want to do this. I'm like, okay, if I could do it behind a screen, I'm just like, I can do it in person. But it's just a little bit more like I'm here. And then on top of that, you're having the craziness of what's going on in the show. Like, people are
Yeah.
moving left to right, people are doing this, doing that. They are, have to prep up, have to this, and then people are coming out from a match and they're like, just getting everything. Like it's just crazy. It's crazy back there. But the couple places that I've been to and I've been able to be backstage, and like just see how everything is as a wrestling fan, and I'm just like, holy, like it's surreal. Like I still don't believe it. Like for me, not that long ago, I was literally backstage and Karrion Cross was there. Like I'm just like, well, Killer Cross at that time, right? Because he was back in the Indies.
Time's up.
Yes, yes. Okay, so
This just came 2 days ago too. Waited almost a week and a half for this one.
no
Dang.
way. So like that for me, like that's the one. Like I seen him NXT. I loved him, and I wish like I felt like he was misused when he was moved up, and then for him to be released, I was so disappointed, so disappointed. And then for me to, and then he ended up doing a show here in the OC in Orange County, and I got to go see him for the first time after him leaving, being released from WWE. He ended up doing his show after he got married and everything with Scarlett.
Yeah.
He showed up, and I was just like, oh my god, like I get to see him. Like I was front row, like literally paid probably like $30, like instead of WWE paying like hella money. Being in LA, it's hella
Oh my god.
overpriced. So I
Um,
know other arenas are
I
different, but
mean,
LA.
when I got the WrestleMania tickets, I can tell because it's like, oh my god.
I know. Oh my God,
Me,
those
me, me,
ringside
and me
tickets
and
were
three of my brothers,
insane.
we
I
we
didn't
had
get
to do a
him.
4-way package with each other. So other way, I don't think
It
either of us was going solo because it's crazy.
it's mad insane. Like it's really expensive. So honestly, for me, like I feel for people that have to deal with the travel expenses on top of Mania.
Hmm.
Because for me, I'm just looking forward. Like for me, I'm just like all I need to worry about is just how I'm gonna get to Mania because I'm for sure not driving probably. There's gonna be mad traffic.
Oh yeah, it's
No.
just gonna be
And
bad.
then aside from that, there's gonna be so many indie shows going on. So if you're gonna be here, I definitely recommend any indie show
I have to.
that you
I
can
have to.
possibly go to. I've heard that Mania Week gets insane. So with it being in LA and here, we have had so many within the last 2 years. We've had so many promotions just pop up and stuff. So it's gonna be crazy. But I was supposed to actually work the WrestleMania launch party.
What?
I was supposed to work that, so I would have interviewed Bianca Belair. I would
That would have
have.
made me very jealous, but you know.
Um, unfortunately, the only reason why I didn't was because I was actually taking my brother to the show. And then a lot of people don't know, but my brother's special needs, so I couldn't have him holding my camera. So unfortunately, I had to say no to the offer, and they offered it to somebody else. But I was actually
I
supposed to
mean,
work that show for Lucha Libre Online. So hopefully, Mania, if they
that's one
consider me.
opportunity. So there's one opportunity. So you know another one's gonna come rolling around. So
Absolutely. So,
you know,
but I think
that's
for me at that
crazy.
point, I would probably be freaking out than like my indie shows. Like indie shows, I could at least, step up to the side, and it's like, I'm just trying to, I could get a breather.
Mm-hmm.
But like I think a major promotion would probably be a lot different. So I haven't done that yet, but once I do that, I definitely would give the
I
feedback
mean,
on that. But
like I
indie
said,
shows,
it was there, so it's gonna come again.
oh, I hope so. I hope so.
It
But
is.
indie shows, I honestly, I definitely recommend it, and especially with like, doing this. And have you thought about going to a show and possibly trying it?
I have lots of times. There's actually a place downtown from where I live that do a lot of indie shows. When AEW came here,
Hmm.
Matt Caster was actually at the promotion, and Yuta actually trained there as well.
Oh
So it's
shoot.
just with work and everything, me working overnight,
Mhm.
it's a lot. I'm trying to
It's
fix my work
harder.
schedule and then maybe try because I do that's because I see you like I see people that are normal like me because when you're young you're thinking if somebody got this job it's like oh they're either higher up or they did something, but with TikTok you see normal people like myself and it's like it's possible. I would love to
Yeah.
do it, but like you said, I get the jitters just about to do if we do a podcast or something. Even if there's like 10 people on the podcast, I'm still like, all right, we got this. We're gonna do it. It's gonna be fine. It's gonna be good. So, but I would definitely that is a dream of mine though.
Oh,
It would
I
be
honestly,
amazing.
it's honestly, it's amazing. I feel like when you walk out, it's so different because you get to ask the questions that you want to
And
ask.
that's
Like
the
absolute,
thing.
like it's absolutely yes questions that people ask, and you see like, oh, I wonder what he would say to this, and you would probably remember that question and ask it. But at the end of the day, majority of that interview is things that you want to ask as yourself
Exactly.
as a fan and stuff. So so far I'm having a lot of fun with it, and I love it. It is a little bit nerve wracking because I do get intimidated. Like, I don't get me fooled. Like, I'm tall as hell, but I get intimidated by these, wrestlers because, like, they've been through places,
That's what I'm
um,
saying. It's
so
crazy. I
it's
couldn't.
definitely fun. I totally like if you get the opportunity to do it, I would totally let reach out to that promotion and see if you can do it. And a lot of them are actually willing to do even interviews after. I have a couple friends that do podcasts and they do interviews after the show, and they actually talk
Really?
to the
Oh
talent.
wow.
Yeah, they you all you have to do is just approach the talent. A lot of them are really nice. You'd be surprised.
So it's all me now. Okay.
It's
Like
on
I've
you.
had like Ryan Satin. I've had
Mhm.
him on the podcast before. That was talk about the jitters. And I actually know personally Top Dollar from Hit Row. And
Oh, okay.
I've been trying to get him on but everything is just it just doesn't work out because now he's back with the company. So it's like
Yeah,
it's different than
you
when he
have to go
was
through
a
them.
free agent and I can ask him for an interview and everything. And I don't know how it works when they're actually with the promotion. So now it's like now I
Mm.
gotta wait on that. But it is something that would be because I got so
I
many crazy questions that I just want to personally know.
Oh yeah, that's the one thing that I love about this. And actually, well, if you're interested, there is an event that I will be hosting in November 5th here in
Okay.
LA. It's called Wrestle Giving. So it's basically like a Thanksgiving dinner with a whole bunch
Oh,
of
I was
wrestlers
seeing
that
the
are going to be
promotion from
there.
it.
Yes.
I was
So
seeing it.
so that is also one of the things. And so definitely if you are interested, you want to fly out in LA and you can do that. I would definitely recommend it because you would definitely get a lot of content. There's going to be 20 plus wrestlers, and we actually are going to have Hall of Famers in there too. So
Okay.
so I'm
I'll
just
definitely
saying, I'm just throwing the
after the
invitation out
podcast,
there.
I'm definitely gonna accept the invitation and get the information that I need because that I had an opportunity because again with Top Dollar when he was a free agent he was working in a promotion and he was the world champion for them and everything. I was supposed to work a battle royale that he was throwing for content creators. Work, of course,
Oh,
but it was
and
just it was the travel. I just felt like I knew if I went and how tired my body was, I didn't want to injure myself or anybody else. I didn't want
oh,
to make
of
that
course.
risk. So it was that choice. I was like, I could do it, but I don't want to take that chance because then that's bad on him too.
Yeah. No, I
So,
feel it. I
but
feel
I know
it.
that opportunity is there too. But even though he's with WWE now, shout out to him. I'm happy for him. But I
Yes.
but I know something else will come up. So, but
Oh,
I'm definitely gonna
absolutely.
accept that invitation.
Or maybe even ask him and see if he has anybody that he could link you up with. Just saying.
I do
And
gotta
there,
hit him up,
or just even, I mean, or probably even his agent. You could probably talk to his agent. I mean, I know WWE is a little bit stricter, but with Triple H, who
and that's
knows?
what,
Who knows?
which is true. With Trip, they able to go on Twitch.
So they just opened
I
that up.
mean,
They opened up that they're allowed to speak upon other wrestlers. So hey, it's worth a try.
anything, but yeah,
It's worth a try. I'm here to
that.
motivate you.
Thank you. I need it. I need it. I need it because just like you, them jitters. But I know once I get past that, it's like I never even thought I'd be able to do this podcast. Like getting it to where it is, over 2,000 followers with me and my bro. Getting to starting it last year, but we did it.
You see? Exactly.
Little
You
steps,
see?
little steps.
It's just that I think it's just that little tiny fear of just moving forward with the situation or moving forward with it. Because trust me, for me, I'm freaking out all week long. I can't speak about what's going on this weekend, but
Yeah.
I'm supposed to have an event this weekend. I'm not allowed to speak.
No, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, so but I have an event coming up this weekend where I'm going to be working and talking
Mhm.
to big names and stuff. So I'm so excited, but you have no idea, like my
And
stomach is like,
it's days later,
ah,
and you're just and your mind is just on that,
exactly.
and it's like
Exactly.
it's two
Exactly.
weeks
So I'm
away, but
just
it's
kind of
like
like,
this is gonna happen.
and then I start stalking their Instagrams and I'm just like, and I'm just like on
No.
Google, like, oh my God, like, oh, and then I get there and like I literally ask like 3 questions because working with Lucha Libre Online, they basically what obviously right now what's in the works is just shorts. A lot of people
Yeah.
don't like to sit through a 3 hour interview of me talking to like Chavo Guerrero, even though it would be awesome to talk to him for
I
three
mean,
hours,
I got enough
but
questions for 3 hours for him. I'll tell you that.
I got to talk to him for 5 minutes, so that was cool.
I mean,
I,
that's cool. That's oh man.
like it's amazing, honestly. Like I was just so nervous. I get so nervous. I research them. I try to, like, no matter how much I feel like I think I know about them, I'm just like, no, like I get nervous enough to that I have to like research them because I'm just like, what if I forget something? And I take my little
I
notes
thought I
here
was
and
the
there.
only one. I thought I was the only one because before every podcast, I even have to go back and like, do I know as much as I think I do about this one person? Let me go back. Okay.
Exactly. No, I do that. I'm that person. So I stalk their page too before I go interview them and stuff like that, or if I know who I'm gonna go see and things like
Yeah.
that. So but don't get me wrong, like this whole entire week, like my stomach has been like literally the lowest it's ever been. So
It's
but
amazing.
once you do the interview, like honestly, it's freaking cool, and it feels like crazy because now you're just like, we friends now.
I'll just be there
Which
like,
we're
I
not,
just
but we're
did that.
friends.
I just did that. I just did that. Okay.
Exactly, exactly. I
Having
got
no
into my car
confidence
after like
beforehand.
exactly before. Honestly, I didn't think I was gonna interview Chavo Guerrero like at all, and I was so nervous that I even said his name like different. Like I was just so nervous. Like my just
It
I was
happens.
I was not Mexican for like 2 seconds.
The one time. The one time.
The one time, but
The
I was not
one
Mexican for like
time.
2 seconds. It was crazy, but like that's how nervous I got, and I was just like, oh my God, and like I had to remember during the interview, like breathe, relax, like.
Mhm.
But at the same time, I'm like trying to think about what I'm telling him, what I'm going to tell him, and then I have to like remember of how I have to stand, how I have like. There's just so much that goes into it and stuff. But honestly, like it's just it feels cool, like just to have that conversation with your favorite wrestler. Um,
That's what I'm
at least
saying.
to me, like that's how it is. I like to have casual conversations. Like I'm not like, formal interviews. Like, hi, how was your interview? How was your day today?
Yeah.
What like for me, I'm just trying to have a casual conversation, and wherever like it flows, it flows. But yes, this is dope as
Yeah.
fuck. TBH. Thank you.
That's fucking yeah.
But
But I'm definitely gonna need that information. But before we go,
yes.
you can do them together. You could put both WWE and AEW together. You can separate them. But right now, your top 5 wrestlers.
Oof. Okay. Um, John Moxley for sure. Right now, let's see. God damn, there's so many. Okay, I'm gonna have to add Jamie Hayter on there because this girl has been
Okay.
I'm starting to really like this girl. Wardlow's number one, of course. So
I
it's
mean, I can't
Wardlow
hate on the
number
Wardlow.
one. So it's Wardlow number one, and then 2 to 5, like there's no order.
Freaking Wardlow. He's winning. I mean, it's Wardlow. I just wish
It's
they do a lot
Wardlow.
more with his title reign. But
It's Wardlow. But Karrion Cross would be on top as well. And Champa. Champa, ooh, my God. This man, I have been obsessed with this man since DIY. And when he turned heel on Gargano was the greatest freaking thing that could have happened at that
I,
time.
I,
And
I, I
their
hope.
feud
I
and
hope my
rivalry
brother.
was
I hope my brother is Lewis not in here. He's the biggest Gargano fan. So like,
ah!
and it's funny because when I first interviewed him, I played that clip for him of Ciampa, and I was like, "How did this make you feel?"
It made me feel happy.
It.
For me, it was the one. It was the greatest time of Champa, and I really hope that Triple H brings this to the main
I'm
roster
waiting
because
for it.
honestly,
As
for
much as I
me,
like how he's doing it with Miz, I need him
I
back.
need Champ. Yes, I need the black card. I need him to go back to Goldie. We need Goldie 2.0 something. I don't know. We need something. Um, but for me, my turning point where I was just like, I love him was when he turned on Gargano because of how nasty and savage he got. Oh my God, it was the
Because the way they
best
were,
thing.
you never thought it could be possible.
Yes,
And
exactly. And
when I
like they
went
were
back to
just
watch it for the first time, I'm like, now I see it. They looked
it,
so like if it was impossible.
exactly. Like I'm just like for me that was the greatest point of the black and gold era. I was all there for it. I think at this point was when I would have preferred NXT over the main roster. Because there was a point where I preferred the NXT Raw. I was all for NXT, and I was just like, I would watch it. Like I still watch Raw and SmackDown, but it wasn't
Yeah.
like I was just like, whatever. So I'm like, oh, everybody's great. Oh, I like them. Oh, that's cool. I'd go to a show. But for me, I was just like, NXT? What? Where? What? What's going on? Like, I need to be there. So I'm just like, shit. So, like the main reason why I even went to Royal Rumble, aside from Royal Rumble being on my bucket list, for shows that I ever wanted to go to, the main reason why I went was because of Takeover. So and I love Takeover. I went to War
love you.
Games.
Oh,
Oh
you
my
got to
God.
see a War Games. What?
I got to see War Games here in LA when it was the Ricochet one where he like hopped
Hmm.
off from the top. I think it was like the last War Games that they had as a black and gold era type of
I think so.
vibes. Because then after that they
Yeah.
kind of all kind of drifted, and then they started adding new people by the following year.
Hmm.
So it was
Yeah.
yeah. So it was that War Game. So this shit was amazing. 2018 War Games. It was amazing. That was the best. But Champa is definitely top of my list. If Wardlow wasn't here, I would say Champa would be number one right now.
I can understand it. And like I said, what he's doing, what he's able to do with the Miz, with the little, it's still working, kind of.
I know. I
It's
was
still working.
surprised because I thought it was like I was like, I don't know if this is gonna work. I was like because I was used to seeing Champa so different, but seeing this, like honestly, I like both of them because I know that he's still him, like he still has that little bit of
Hmm.
what he had in NXT, just that he's adding more of a smile to it.
And that's
because
the
of
thing.
Miss, which I like because it's a little mini smile. So I like it. It's nasty. I'm waiting for him to get nasty. I
It's
think
gonna
Miz is
happen.
gonna turn on him for sure because he turns on everybody. But overall, may win the battles, but I think Ciampa would win the war, definitely between them.
I'm waiting on it. Waiting on it. It's gonna happen.
I hope so.
Oh wait, before we go, this is the last thing. This is
Okay.
definitely the last thing. Where do you
Okay.
stand with Austin Theory?
I'm an Austin Theory fan until he got
Yes,
to the main roster, and
finally, at
then
least something.
I was like, what? I the way was kind of like, because they kind of made him seem like he was like that little dumb boy.
A
Um,
child, a child.
yeah, like I was just like, sir, like there's no common sense anymore. Like you just got with them and then brains went out the window. Okay, cool. I mean, I was still for it because I mean it was fun. It was fun to see him do something else or trying something different. It wasn't the vibe for me, but once he got to moved up to the main roster for me, I'm having fun with his Money in the Bank thing. I hope that they keep blocking him off. I hope that it becomes a thing.
It's
Uh,
really killing me. It really is because like there's so many people that want him to fail because of me. Because I'm on TikTok. I'm the Theory. I'm Austin Theory. I've been following him since 2016 before WWE. So when that moment happened at Clash at the Castle, I said, let me just record it. Because I know people are going to be like, what was your reaction? And as soon as I post the events of Roman winning, they're like, what was your reaction when the Theory came out? I was like, here you go. I was
Here it is.
upset. Here I am. Oh, just don't let him fail, please. Don't let him fail, please. Because I
No,
want him to
honestly,
succeed so much.
okay, so don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. I would like to, but I think for me, the epic finish to this, and to lead this up to WrestleMania for that John Cena match that we all want is
Oh
John
my
Cena
goodness.
having to do something with him not cashing it in. Because if we remember correctly, John Cena was the first person ever to cash in and not succeed. So him wanting to
Oh
follow
my god.
John Cena's footsteps,
Oh.
I'm just saying. I am just saying, okay, because he did it to Baron Corbin. How the fuck is he not gonna do it to Austin Theory? I'm just saying.
Y'all hear
It's
this?
just gonna it's
Y'all
gonna
hear
roll out,
this?
and then we're gonna drag it on, and that's
That
how we're gonna
sounds
have
that
Austin and
sounds too
Cena.
realistic.
And that's how we're gonna have this at
Oh my
Mania. I'm
god.
just
That
saying.
sounds too realistic. That sounds too realistic. I didn't even think that would make so much. Hey, you wanted
That's
to
just
be
how
just like me, right? You wanted to be just like me, right? Oh my
that's
goodness.
how I'm seeing it play out. That's how I see it. If it happens, it happens. And if it happens, I called this shit since like
I mean, the
2022.
podcast here is gonna be on YouTube. I'm gonna go back and screenshot it my damn self because that's actually a possibility. That's crazy. I didn't even think
That's
about. I forgot about Cena. I'm not even thinking of him showing up. I want that to be a surprise for Mania. But wow,
because I mean, if we remember, we were supposed to have them at
we
SummerSlam.
were.
It got
Mm-hmm.
blocked off completely because we were like promoted this summer of Cena 2.0, and they were just like, wah, 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 never spoke
Never
about it
happened.
again.
Never
He didn't
happened.
come back. He, ended up doing his thing. He's filming and like all that stuff. But honestly, for me to be epic, and honestly, especially with now the rumors going on that Vince McMahon is going to have his retirement at Mania,
And
bro.
and he's gonna
First of
get the
all, I'm
Hall of
gonna
Fame
cry.
induction. He's gonna
I'm gonna
get the
just
Hall of
say
Fame
I'm gonna cry.
induction.
I'm gonna cry because this man made my whole entire fucking goddamn childhood and my
That's what I'm
adulthood. I'm just
saying.
gonna
Like
say
like
this.
like screw all everything else. Like guys, this is Vince.
Exactly. I mean, he did
Oh
what
my.
he did. He's done what he's done. He hasn't done what he hasn't done. What it is, I don't know. Whatever the real story is, but at the end
Mhm.
of the day, this man brought a product that brought people together and made art. Like it's just, I don't know. And like you have to be really like think about it. It's not just the United States that comes together to watch WrestleMania, dude. Like there's around the world people dead ass take weeks off just for them to fly in, be able to experience all of this, and then go back home. Like, you don't see this happening for the Super Bowl. Stuff like
Yeah.
that, which people like to compare the Super Bowl to WrestleMania. I under like it within that structure, but it's not like WrestleMania is a lot
Uh,
bigger
uh,
than people tended to describe
I'm
it.
going
But
across. I'm
honestly,
I'm going from Massachusetts to That's how I wouldn't do that. The Super Bowl was there last year. I ain't going to the Super Bowl. I ain't doing that trip. But for Mania, even though
Well, I can't
after
really say
that,
because I went from LA to New York for Evolution. I went to the
oh shit,
Evolution pay-per-view. I
that's
had to go
understandable
to the
though.
first ever all women's. Yes.
That's
Yes.
understandable though. That's
Being the biggest fan of the women's division, I had to be there. And then especially when Trish, Lita, Candice Michelle, every freaking woman that
mhm,
I watched while I was growing up was gonna be there. I was like, there's no way I'm missing this. Like, I am
gotta
not
go.
missing this for the world. I had to go. I think I ended up like booking everything probably like 2-3 weeks before. No, I'm lying, like a month before, because I had a show. I ended up going to my first ever ROH show the beginning of that month. And then by the end of the month, they closed it off with Evolution. So it was cool. I got to see the Young Bucks and Cody Rhodes before AEW
Well,
happened.
there you go.
And after Cody had left WWE, which is cool.
That's
Wrestling, man, wrestling is amazing. I love
it.
it.
Really
It's so
is. It
much
really
fun.
is.
It's a beautiful thing, but I'm excited. But I will definitely be crying at Mania, so I know I'm gonna have to take like waterproof mascara and stuff,
And
because
that's
it's
the
gonna
thing.
be a
Now, do
roller
I buy the
coaster of
tickets for the Hall of
emotions.
Fame? Like, do
I
like
know
do I?
you
Like,
still need Raw, you still need SmackDown, you need NXT. They're probably gonna have a takeover because we're gonna bring back takeovers.
me and my boys were
Like
just talking about that yesterday. We're like, wait, so if they bring back Takeover, what are we gonna do? And I'm like, what do you mean? Like, are we gonna go? I'm like, damn.
plus the
I'm like,
indie
you're
shows,
right.
plus Access, plus WrestleCon, plus
Oh,
like there's. I'm just saying,
I'm
like
just gonna
people
go
got to start
broke.
saving money,
So
like since like
it's
last year. I'm just saying,
listen, I'm saving, and then the income tax money is gonna be good too. So I'm just gonna go broke. It's
right? Oh,
it's my
that's
first
true.
mania.
Tax season
It's
is around that time.
my first mania bucket list getting checked off.
Mine too.
Then they want to go to Philly when I could have been right there, but it's whatever. I'll go to
I know.
the whole trip is going to be an experience because I've always wanted to
Yes.
go and everything. Smoke
At
a
least
blunt
from
outside, you know.
at least from what I see, at
Yeah,
least
there's
from what I've
only
seen, every mania is a different experience, which I love. I love that about WWE. It gives
mhm.
you a different experience every single year. The themes are different. I like how they started doing that. They started doing themes,
Yeah.
which is pretty dope. Because honestly, like after a while, there's only certain fonts that you can fucking use.
But damn.
Like so after a while you have to have some type of creativeness. So I like what they're doing now. The 2 day thing, a lot of people are not a fan of it. I love it. Me personally, especially me going to Mania, it sucked having to buy 2 tickets, but I would have preferred to
I
pay
mean,
the money that I paid for 2 nights than to do it for one night. I'm
and
just gonna
watch
say that.
what like almost 8 to 9 hours
and
in one night.
and
Come on,
sit down and exactly.
come on.
And I'm just
I,
gonna say because I went to Royal Rumble 2019, one of the longest Royal Rumbles that they've had. It was like eight
mhm.
hours long. People complain, which is the reason why they started cutting shows because of that specific event. And I honestly, for me, I love wrestling and I loved it, but I had to drive back home and I had a 6 hour drive, and I had to be it to work at night at 8 a.m. the following morning. So for me, I was just like, I was fucking hating it. Like I was just like, I love it, but I need to fucking go home. Like uh, like
Nah,
shit.
that's
I was like, but
insane.
there's no way I'm gonna leave before the show ends. Like there's no like I would rather just go to work half dead, which I did. But it was a long show, and I'm like, for me, I'm like, I would prefer not to do that again.
We prefer the
So
two
for me,
nights.
yeah, the 2 nights have a four maybe 5 hour event, depending how early you get, because some people like to show up early. But depending how early you get, that's basically the show time itself. It's like 4 hours long. So for me, honestly, I don't have a problem with it. I love it. I like the 2 days. I like that they had the combo deals. If people didn't take advantage of the combo deals, I feel so bad because the combo deals were literally chef's kiss. Because I saw the tickets
We didn't make it.
after.
We didn't make it in time for
No.
the combo
Oh,
deals because we didn't agree. All four of us didn't get a chance to agree at the right
on a
time, so we
yeah.
missed it. We got both nights though,
Oh, yeah.
but
But
we
you
did
didn't
miss
get
the
the
combo
combo.
deals,
So you
which
bought
was
them
fun.
separately.
Yeah, because
I
we
know.
were only
I
gonna
ended
go
up
to night two
okay.
because we were like, we know Roman's gonna be the main event. We know it's gonna probably be The Rock versus Roman. So if anything, let's get that night. And then
Mhm.
my brother found cheaper tickets, and we're like, should we do it? I'm like, just buy them. Just buy them. I'll pay. We got this. We got this. So I just can't wait. I just
Honestly, me
totally
too.
see.
It's my first Mania, as you as well. I didn't go to Mania 2005 because my mom couldn't afford to take me. She bought me the pay-per-view though, but she couldn't afford to take me. So unfortunately, I didn't get to go to that WrestleMania, and it sucks because there's the specific picture of John Cena that's in my like in my brain, and it's from WrestleMania 21. So I'm
Uh,
sad that I wasn't there, but getting to experience this, like, it's so crazy having like to have seen it when I was a kid and see how Mania was here in Staples Center, and now being in a fucking football stadium, how big it's gotten and how amazing wrestling has gotten. I'm looking forward to it, especially the pyro. I am excited for
oh
the
my, I
pyro.
can't wait. Even when I went to SmackDown, like like when I don't know if it's just me, but when I go to a show, I don't remember people's entrances, so I don't remember who has the fireworks or the pyro. So I was close by the entrance, and I forgot who came out, and they had the flame pyro, and
They
I'm like,
pop.
bro, this is hot. I'm not even that close. God damn. And it brought me back to one of my first events when I saw Kane live, and
I
I'm
was about to
like,
say that. I was like, what about Kane?
when I first saw him live, I'm like, damn. And we were actually pretty close. And it was the ring posts that were on. I'm like,
Yeah.
God, this shit is hot. But I forgot. It's just I forget everything because when I walk through that curtain and I just see everything, I'm just everything I know is out the
Flabbergasted.
window. Everything. It's just like, wow, I'm here. It's a
You just
regular AEW. It's a regular SmackDown, but I'm here.
but you're
It's just.
it's so different when you're there than when you're watching it on
Mm-hmm.
TV. Like on TV, it looks great and all, like you have all the lights and fireworks and everything that's going on. But once you're there, it's like so different.
It's
And if
crazy.
anybody in the comments hasn't been to a live show, y'all need to. Like it's a completely different experience. So I love it. I love it. Y'all need to go. But um, I don't know. For me, honestly, I think the one event that I would say that kind of changed the way that I kind of want to do live shows is AW. AW,
I
honestly,
was gonna
top
say that their
notch.
live shows are crazy. I don't get it.
Their shows are so alive. Because I've been to shows here, and honestly, I'm gonna go ahead and say it. Cause I'm from LA. Yeah, I'm from LA. I rep LA mad hard. But we got the weakest goddamn fans. I'm just gonna say that because ain't nobody loud as hell in these shows, man. I'm over here like, yeah. I'm like, is anybody
By,
gonna
by,
cheer
by,
with
by
me?
yourself.
Like nobody is loud. But when AEW came around, maybe because it was the debut of AEW, who knows? And WWE's been here like a
Um,
thousand times, who knows? But the vibe was so
it's so different.
different. It is so different, and I got to experience it in Vegas with with people traveling from so many places just to go to that pay per view and
Mm-hmm.
all that, and then them actually bringing it to LA and it being LA fans, and then me being at prior shows for WWE and just seeing the vibes from there. I ended up going to Ontario, which is I'm literally like the halfway point of where they were in LA and where they were in Ontario, so I got to go to both shows.
Nice.
Same. It was the same. Like everybody was just so alive, so into it. And I love it because they keep you interactive, not only the wrestlers themselves, but commentary.
Yeah,
And then
it's
Tony Khan comes out and has like a whole as like, little conversation with
even though
everybody.
Tony's
Like,
got his issues, but him coming out, it's crazy. And I got the best experience. I got to go to SmackDown that Friday, and then the Wednesday after, I went to AEW.
oh,
And all I kept hearing was, "Bro, AEW's different. It's your first experience, but I'm telling you, you're gonna love it." SmackDown, end of the show, I still had my phone. AEW by Dynamite, no, by Rampage, it was dead. I couldn't record anything from
because you
Rampage.
because
It,
you
it, it
wanted
was it was so crazy. It's just Justin Roberts doing stuff in the ring, shouting out every single row. It's
no,
crazy. The
it's
interaction.
insane. I learned to take portable chargers to shows.
Yeah, you see, I brought one. I didn't charge it enough, but I I I still think it would have been enough for SmackDown, but AEW, even
It
though
was
I think it was
yeah.
because it was my first show, even without that,
You wanted to intake as much as you could.
and I took it all. I was watching. I was cheering for Dark. Like I don't even watch Dark, and I was happy to see Dark Elevation, and I'm like, what? Why am I? It,
I know, same. But see, my dark was like Benta and Phoenix, so I had to be loud.
I
Gotta
mean, yeah.
represent my peeps.
Oh yeah. When I didn't even know Mox was going to start the show, so when he came out and was going up against Roosh, I was
You were
like,
like, ah!
ah. Even that I got to see, and that's the other thing. I'm getting to see wrestlers that I've never seen even on TV in person, and getting to see them work.
Mhm.
Like I got to see Sammy Guevara.
Oh,
Like
you haven't
his
seen
work.
him in person?
n-
Oh,
AEW is when I first got to see Sammy Guevara, and seeing him live, it's
it's
crazy.
insane. It's just crazy. I honestly, I wish I could have been there for Blood and Guts.
That
That
if I
dude
was
is
there for
fuck.
that and would have seen that, I to see that live, that would have been
That
crazy.
dude doesn't get the respect that he deserves. He's actually discredited for a lot of his shit, and it sucks because
It
of the whole
does.
thing with Ty Conti, which I love her too. Honestly, she was amazing when she was doing her whole thing with Anna Jay, and they had their street fight and all that.
Mhm.
That shit was fucking. This bitch, she's badass. He's badass. They look dope together, but we just need different storylines.
We get it.
Different storylines.
We
But
get
yeah,
it.
so he got discredited a lot after his whole thing popped off with her. I don't know why. I really don't know why. But this dude doesn't get the credit that he
Sometimes people
deserves.
put the personal with the, and it's, I understand some of it, but you can't do it all the time, guys.
Yeah, but I was gonna say,
It
I'm
takes
like,
away,
because we can't be mad at it because going back to it, like Edge and Lita did this shit, bro.
and that's
Did
what I'm
it worse.
saying.
They brought a fucking whole
And
ass
I
head
know
to the
some
ring.
people who had an issue with that, but y'all okay with this? I don't want no, no, I don't want to hear that.
So that's what
But
I'm saying. Like, I like it's not. I feel like he shouldn't be discredited. Like, I mean, like, because if you think about it, it's happened before. It's not the first time. He is not the first
it's
one.
not
Like,
definitely not the
for you, be like,
first.
get a room, guys. Stop. We've seen this shit play out 1,000 times. Like, we even seen goddamn, people cheating on each other on there. When Lita
Mhm.
went with Kane and then Edge, and she did all of this, and then with Vicky Guerrero, and it's it was a whole hot mess there at a certain point. But we've seen this before, like these romances. What
Exactly.
happened with Lana and Lashley, and they brought their actual real marriage into a
On
storyline.
screen.
Like
Yeah.
exactly. So I feel like he shouldn't be discredited, but that dude's he's a great performer. This guy is amazing. I would pay money to see him if like it was just him
Yeah.
and
I
like
didn't even
one
know he was
other
gonna be
like
on the show. I didn't even care about the card when I went. I didn't. I just. I don't. Yeah. I don't even think I knew what matches were really going on.
yeah,
It was
you
just the
were just
experience.
it was like a daydream.
Yeah. It was just like because where I live, there's the arena 10 minutes away from me.
Oh,
So
okay.
when I moved here 3 months ago, I was just roaming the area and I passed there and it said AEW and I said I bought the tickets like 3 months in advance.
Yeah.
I'm like I'm going to this show, and I think that's what it was too. The fact it was just amazing, guys. Again,
Like
AEW,
recommend it. 2 thumbs up.
but I do appreciate you coming out. This was a blast. I had fun.
Oh,
It
thank
was
you. Thank you for having me. I did have fun. I know time flew by. I didn't even notice it
it
was
really did.
already.
I'm gonna be completely honest with you. It is 11:12, and I was supposed to be at work 12 minutes ago.
Oh my
That's how much
god.
time flies.
No. No, Axel, I'm so
I'll
sorry.
be fine. I'll be fine. But that's what I'm saying. I didn't even realize. I'm looking at it and I'm like, oh no, we'll be fine. I looked. I'm like, oh, I'll be fine.
Oh, I'm so
But
sorry.
if you want to
Boss,
just
if
let
you're
everybody,
listening,
no,
sorry.
he's fine. They need me. You didn't hear that. But if you want to let everybody know where they can follow you again before we go.
Yes, you guys can follow me on all social platforms on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and even Snapchat as Heel.Liz. And on my YouTube as Heel.Liz. But aside from that, you guys can find me every Sunday at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 1 p.m. Eastern, on All Things Wrestling Podcast. We do have our own YouTube. Everything on my link tree is all on my Instagram. So I made it easy for y'all.
Again, thank you for coming out, guys. We will see you again when we bring back the Jeopardy. Ant got a Jeopardy cooked up. So until then, guys, be safe and see you next time.